am I live now? I exited and hey, now it says I'm live. Can you all see me? Comment. I was trying to do the automatic button that says, go live at 12. Well, here I am. It didn't work, obviously. So I'm going to see if my friend says she can see me.
I can see you.
Oh, my daughter can see me. So we are live. Woo! I am so happy that you are here. Welcome, welcome everyone. I am Brenda Bennett. Sugarfreemom.com is my website, and I am the author of the new book that just released today, Good, Better, Best, 100 low-carb, sugar-free recipes. It's a 3-tiered approach to weight maintenance so that even if you can't make the best decision, you can still make a good or better decision in the moment when time is short so that you can stick to your goals. And it's not about perfection. And that's what I want to show you today. No matter if you have an hour or 30 minutes or just 15 minutes, you can make a fabulous, delicious, low-carb, sugar-free, gluten-free meal or snack that still aligns with some great goals and protein forward. So today is a launch party because the book has released. Let me know, have you pre-ordered? If you did pre-order, and even today, still it's an option. Even if you just ordered today, I'm going to give you my bonus recipe ebook. And you just have to show your receipt and send an email to bonus@sugarfreemom.com, and you'll get an additional 8 recipes, 3 that I put in the good category, 3 from the better category, and 2 from the best category. So you have some more delicious recipes. So today I'm going to demo for you a recipe from the better section, my no-bake cookie dough bars. If you have the book, this is on page 223. I need my glasses to read. And then we're going to also make gnudi, which is spelled G-N-U-D-I, and it is like a gnocchi, but not made with ricotta potato. It's made with ricotta, and that is on page 344. So we're going to make both today, and I'm going to be giving away to all those of you who are live. I'm going to be giving away 3 copies signed for anyone who lives in the United States. And if you don't, and you're a winner, and you live outside of the US, I'll give you an ebook version as well. Sorry, I can't send it if you're not in the US, but I'm going to give a book away at 12:15 randomly from the comments. So just comment if you're watching live, and then one at 12:30 and one at 12:45. And also I'll give you a choice because I have my other book over here. I have 3 copies of my best-selling book, The 30-Day Sugar Elimination Diet. So 3 people live, you can choose whether you want the new book or the 30-day book. It's up to you. And we'll do a winner at 12:15, 12:30, and 12:45. And then in 24 hours tomorrow, I'll come back at noon and I will go through for the replay. People who are watching the replay in the next 24 hours, you will be drawn for 3 winners to win tomorrow at noon for a copy of my book. So I'm very excited to offer you this, and I really, really hope that you enjoy these recipes. I truly thank you for supporting me, and I really hope that this is a way for you to remove that all or nothing thinking that you don't have time to make a good, healthy recipe, that it can simply be about the time that you have, and you pivot. And you'll see the color of the book. The good is in yellow, the better's in blue, and the best is in green. And so on the side here, so if you only have 15 minutes, you go to the good section. If you only have 20 to 30 minutes, you go to the blue, the better section. And if you have time, like 45 minutes to an hour, you go to the green section for best. And those are your freezer meals, your batch cooking, when you have a little bit more time on the weekend to prepare ahead. And that's unlike any other books that I've done. I didn't do freezer prep or batch cooking, so that's what's new and unique about this book. So please tell me where you're watching from. I love to hear from you, and let's get started. I think we're going to start with Bless you, honey. Did you hear my daughter sneeze? We're going to start with the no-bake cookie dough bars because I want to get the base of the recipe chilled before, while that's in the fridge, then we can make the gnudi, and you can eat this for lunch today. I was hoping to catch a lot of you for your lunch break. So I'm going to close that up. I'm going to pull out my food processor. You could certainly do this in a bowl for the no-bake, but I find that when you have to mix the flour and the butter, it's just so much quicker in the food processor. So I have some butter here that I melted in the microwave because I forgot that I needed it softened for today. And so we add that to the food processor first. And to that, I'm using sunflower seed meal. So if you have nut allergies, the recipe actually shows almond flour, but I know many of you don't want to use almond flour, and some of you have tree nut allergies like my son. So sunflower seed meal is the perfect replacement for almond flour evenly in recipes. And so that's what I'm using today, just because I didn't have any almond flour. So I'm using that today. And I've got my oven on 350 degrees for the ricotta gnudi, so you can get that going if you have ricotta, coconut flour, eggs, and seasonings. And what else? Parmesan. You can make the ricotta gnudi today. All right, so to the food processor, we've got butter. I'm using sunflower seed meal. I'm going to add some vanilla extract, just a little. Everything's in the book, and that was a lot. And I'm going to add some vanilla stevia. If you don't like stevia, you can totally feel free to use whatever sweetener you prefer. I like vanilla stevia, but you could also use, I really do love, most of the recipes in the new book use monk fruit. Monk fruit and allulose. So this is a little powdered allulose. This would be good. I would, because it's a no-bake recipe, I would say don't use a granulated sweetener because you don't want any no-bake recipes to taste or feel grainy in texture. You want them smooth. So a confectioner's low-carb sweetener or liquid monk fruit or liquid stevia would work better. It's about a half a cup in there, but since I added some vanilla extract, I can't remember what else it is, so I'm going to look at the recipe myself. I forgot. All right, so we've got almond flour or sunflower seed flour, butter, collagen, 3 scoops, vanilla stevia I did, vanilla extract, a pinch of salt. So I don't have vanilla, even though the recipe says use vanilla collagen. Did I say collagen or what? I can't remember all the recipes that I made. Collagen, wrong thing. Daughter, dear daughter. I was going to use whey, would probably work, but can I just have our regular pure collagen? Thank you. She's in the kitchen. She just came home, and I am very, very grateful for her. So I'm using Allie Miller's Naturally Nourished line because it's pure, and she tests it. And I really believe in her products, and I use all her supplements and recommend them to my clients because of the purity and the potency. They are extremely more beneficial than anything that you can get on Amazon. That's what I found. So it's 3 scoops. It's about 45 grams. And then we're going to mix this up, and then we're going to stir in some chocolate chips. So once that's mixed, let's do... You're gonna line an 8x8 pan here, and I don't have a bowl, so we want to mix the chocolate chips. You don't want to put them in the food processor or they will, break up, and that won't be good. You want them whole. So let me do, here we go. I got a little bowl. I love my kitchen. It was a long awaited kitchen. I had this ugly brown, kitchen brown counter, cabinets. We've been in this house since 2015. So it was something I was waiting to do for a long time. And we finally got it done last fall. So super, super grateful to have a nice bright kitchen. Anyone else do a kitchen redo? That's interesting, right? You have to dump everything out, and you can't even, you can't cook. It's really difficult. Okay, So we have our no-bake cookie dough batter. I am using, this is Chalk Zero chocolate chips, and it's sweetened with monk fruit. Lily's is a great option, but I know some of you don't like stevia. So you're gonna put in, I believe it's a cup. I'm just gonna throw it in because we're live, and then it has to chill. So you just mix up the chocolate chips with the batter. And this is a no-bake recipe. It's really in the better section because it takes some time to chill it before you put the chocolate ganache. The good chapter is recipes that really literally, some are no cooking at all, 20 minutes or less. The better is, sometimes they're super quick like this one, but like I said, the chilling time or the cooking time could be anywhere from 20 or 30 or 40 minutes, but it's not time that you're watching it, you know. Most of the recipes in this book too, I tried to make for, especially for the better section with freezer and with batch cooking, the option to put it in the oven, put it in the slow cooker, or put it in the air fryer or stovetop. So you have options for whatever time that you have available. So I've got my lined parchment pan. We're gonna put this in evenly as possible. And I really love this recipe. This is the one, if you happen to watch me on Channel 10 Boston, I went on Channel 10 and I showed this one. Everybody ate this up. They loved it. But the really good thing is, like, when you are trying to lose weight or maintain weight loss, if you don't have something in your fridge or your freezer to grab when you are wanting a snack, you may inevitably eat whatever is there, right? And that could be your husband's stash of goodies that you don't want to eat, or your kids' stuff, and it really makes it difficult, and then you feel like you blew it. So this book is all about having those options available to you when you really need a quick snack, and it's really not that hard as long as you have the ingredient list. You can go shopping, have these things in the freezer and fridge, and I would cut this up into individual pieces, wrap them and freeze them and pull them out when you need them or when you just want a snack. Because, you know, so much better than having junk, right? And trying to stay away from packaged and processed foods and ingredients. So I'm not doing a great job because I'm trying to rush, and I know it's almost 12:15, so I want to give away the first book. So again, if you're live, let me know where you're watching from. Mention that you're live, and also I'm going to grab my phone and I'm going to randomly pick someone from the live comments. And let me stick this in the fridge before I do that. The better thing to do for this is simply grab another piece. Let me grab a piece of parchment and press it down so that you can even use your hands like this. You just press it down so it makes an even layer, and then you stick this in the fridge. So this is going to chill, and we're going to give away the first book. All right, let's get the other stuff out. And now I have all my ingredients for the Ricotta Gnudi. Let me get rid of this. Put on my stove. Hold on. Low, low, low. I'm warming heavy cream on the stove for the chocolate ganache that's going to go on top of the cookie dough bar. It's on very low, the heavy cream on my stove, while we make the Ricotta Gnudi. But before we do that, I'm going to get my glasses on, and I'm going to look for, I'm going to randomly pick somebody in the comments right now. Ooh, we have 153. Amazing. All right, so if you already have a copy of this book, you could choose from the other one, my 30-day sugar elimination diet book. But if you already bought a copy, you could give that one away, and I'll send you the signed copy. All right, so I'm just going to close my eyes. Whoops, wait a minute. Where is it? Okay, close my eyes and just put my finger on someone. Edna. Edna, you are the winner. Edna McCrary from Northeast Texas. Edna, you are the winner. I'm going to write you a note. You have been selected as the first winner. So Edna, congratulations. you get a copy, a signed copy. You're in Texas, so all you need to do is send me an email with your mailing address. Send it to brenda@sugarfreemom.com, and I will get you a brand new copy of my book and mail that out this week. Congratulations, Edna. So next at 12:30, I'll do another book giveaway. All right, so now we're gonna make the ricotta gnudi. I have a cup of ricotta cheese, and my daughter's so happy because she and I are both lactose intolerant. My husband found lactose-free ricotta cheese. If you can find that in your market, fantastic. I would not swap ricotta with cottage cheese or any other cheese. I have not tested the recipe with it. I really feel like you need the ricotta for the gnudi because in the authentic recipe for gnudi, Gnudi, it uses ricotta with white flour. Obviously, we're not using white flour. I'm using a half a cup of coconut flour, a cup of grated Parmesan, 2 eggs, and some fresh parsley. We're going to mix it all in a bowl. I would say put it in a food processor, but since mine is already dirty, we're going to mix it in a bowl. And we're going to just put everything. I need another, okay, we need yeah. There we go. Spoon. All right, so you're going to put your ricotta cheese in there. You're going to put your coconut flour. Here, my cream, Parmesan. Once, I just checked the stove. Once your heavy cream is simmering, you're going to just sit it over a cup of chocolate chips and let it sit for 5 minutes without stirring. That's how you make ganache, and that's going to go in the cookie dough. So in a couple minutes, I'm going to do that. All right, we're going to crack 2 eggs and put them in. My trash is right here, yay. And then I'm gonna check my recipe and make sure I haven't forgotten anything. But this recipe is great because you can, paper towels, hold on. This recipe is great because if you're feeling like pasta, when your family's having pasta and you're gluten-free or low carb, this is something that you could prepare today and we can cook it, which we're going to do. And it basically can bake for 5 minutes because it's fresh, or you could saute it in a pan with olive oil and seasonings, or you can take what we make and put it on the baking sheet and freeze them and pull them out when you're ready. And then from baking, from frozen, they take a little bit longer, 10 to 15 minutes to bake in the oven. So you always have something. So you're just gonna mix all this up. I'm gonna check my cream, hold on. Yep. Okay, my cream is hot and boiling and we're just gonna pour it over the chocolate chips and just let that sit. That is the ganache, and that's gonna sit while we make this. I'm filling up the kitchen sink, and luckily I have a husband who doesn't mind doing all my dishes for me because he gets to eat this. And actually I made the ricotta gnudi here on channel 10. I made this recipe for Hannah and Kawani on channel 10 Boston, and they absolutely loved it. Hannah was eating it cold. I hadn't heated it up because I was demoing for them the chicken caprese casserole, and that was warmed up. I thought they were going to eat that one, but instead she started eating this one, and she absolutely loved it. And Kawani actually loved, from the good chapter, the tiramisu overnight oats. And later, after I told her there was actually no oats, she was like, well, what's in that? And she looked at the recipe and said, I have all those ingredients at home. She couldn't believe that it was oat-free and it tasted like oats. And she ate the whole thing up, and it has 40 grams of protein. So, like I said, this would be a lot quicker to do in a food processor. But since mine was already dirty, I'm just going to mix it up as best I can, and then we're going to check the recipe. And so tell me, do you have my other book? Have you purchased the 30-day sugar elimination diet? I know that a lot of you have, and a lot of you lost weight. But when I checked back with many of you after 2 years of how many were able to keep it off, it was very few. And I asked why you think that happened. And many people said lack of time, lack of planning. And it's very easy when you've lost weight to then say, oh, screw it, drive through, take out, convenience food kind of wins out when you feel like you have lack of time. So I wrote this book for you, for those people who say, you know what, I got off track because it was so easy to say, I really don't have time. I'm going to hit the drive-through. You can prevent that with the recipes in this book, with a simple, having a simple few things in your freezer, your pantry, and in your fridge, and you will be able to stay on track. It's okay. We have 2 dogs. Do you hear them? They're going to bark. We have those little collars on for barking, and so hopefully they don't bark, but if they do, I live in a home with 2 dogs, right? All right, so let's check the recipe before I give away the next book. It is on page 245. And so it was eggs, coconut flour, ricotta, parmesan, garlic powder, salt and pepper, and glucomannan. So let me get those. I'm just gonna toss them in, but there are measurements in the book. Don't you worry. Measurements are in the book, but I'm just gonna shake it in. My daughter's very excited to eat it because when I came home from, where's my salt? When I came home from Channel 10, I left them. They wanted them in the break room, so she didn't get any. She's very excited about that. So glucomannan is a fantastic powder that acts like xanthan gum, and a lot of people don't like to use that. So this is really helpful to make gravies, to thicken things, and it's a great option. If you don't have it, the recipe will work without it. It just helps to gel together everything, especially because these are fragile, because they're not made with gluten. And you just need a half a teaspoon of that. And if you don't have it, that's okay. Like I said, you can totally get by without it. And so once you have the seasonings, I'm going to put the parsley on after. We are going to then use gloves because I don't want to get my hands all dirty. And we're going to roll it into a log. And then I'm going to show you the tool that I use to make the cute little lines. You don't need the tool. You could definitely use a fork to make those cute lines like gnocchi would have, but it's totally doable without. All right. So here we go. We're going to dump this out here, and we're going to mold it. Okie dokie. And then I'm going to put my gloves on because I don't want my hands getting all dirty. To roll this out, I have a ruler. So it's going to be rolled out to about 15 inches. Here's my ruler. Because it does matter. You want to make as many as you can, and you want them all bake or cook at the same time. So it is important to have the correct measurements, right? All right, so it's very pliable. It is sticky. It's not as sticky as fathead dough, but it is sticky. So I roll it, I mush it. Is that a technical word, mush? I don't know, but I'm saying it. And we want it to be, like I said, 15 in length, 15 inches in length. And I'm pushing it down as I go, you can see. And then we're going to cut it in half. It takes a little bit of arm work. So that's why this is in the better section. But once you make it, you get 48. And then you can have these, like I said, in the freezer for whenever your family wants pasta. I've been doing this lifestyle since 2006. And I can vouch for all the women, or anybody that has a partner that doesn't want to follow this lifestyle. So I've been doing this since 2006, but my husband didn't get on board until 2018. And so I know that when you feel like you don't have support, it feels impossible to do on your own, but not here. You can do it, even if no one else is doing it with you. And I found that he was eating all the things that I liked. He just was not sticking to it outside of the home. And that's his prerogative. My choice was to stay gluten-free and low carb to maintain my weight. And so even if you feel all alone, you are not, you can totally do this lifestyle. So now, let me see. It is very short. I did not make it long enough, but for the sake of time, and I know it's almost, well, I got 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes, and then we're going to give away another book. I am going to keep going and try to make it longer. It just takes a little bit of time. That's why this is in the better section. But like I said, once you make this, you have a delicious option for anytime you feel like you want pasta. And I was happy that Hannah on Channel 10 Boston said, she couldn't even tell that it was like gluten-free. She couldn't tell that it was like, it had any coconut flour in it. So that made me happy. All right, so then we're gonna take a knife, and I think I'm gonna cut it down because I didn't make it long enough. So I'm gonna improvise, and I'm gonna cut it into 3, maybe even 4. Yeah. I'm going to cut it into 4. I improvised here because I didn't make it as my recipe says because of lack of time. So once you cut it, we're going to see if I have it. How many rows do I need for 48? 1, 2, 4. Yeah. 4 times what makes 48? 4 times what? Help me, Beck. 4 times what makes 48?
Well, I've been on like 3 different time zones. Give me a minute.
Can someone tell me? I can't math right now. I have to figure it out because you're supposed to get 48 of these. Okay, so as you can see, let me get rid of the knife. I cut them up and they look like this. So then, this is my son's.
12.
Huh? 12? Well, let's see if I did that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12! Woo! Okay, I need a drink. I'm sweating and hot. My daughter got me decaf coffee from our local coffee shop. Anyone else a coffee lover? I need decaf now because I'm 53. And afternoon, no good for coffee, caffeine. Morning, yes. Afternoon, no. Totally screws up my sleep. Okay, yes, I actually did 12. Look at that. So even if you don't make them, like I said in the book, and you screw up like I did, and you only have it 12 inches long, I did 12 rows with 4 in each. And then you have these cute little nuggets, right? So my son's a chef, and this is like a gnocchi board, but you don't need this, but it helps to make the cute little lines because you just go like this, you roll it. And you have these cute little, how cute is that? You have these cute little lines, so that's how you do it. You roll it. Now, growing up, on my, at my grandmother's, she didn't have a board like this, and you don't need one. It's nice to have it, it makes it easier, but you can use a fork. Let me see. I'll show you. So if you don't have a board, simply take the back end of the fork and go like this. And you can still make the lines. Super cute. And then you put them on the parchment that you're going to either freeze or cook. And we're gonna cook them. We're gonna bake them. My oven's at 350 degrees. All right, so where are we at? Oh, it's 12:30. All right, next person who's going to win. You can tell me if you want the 30-day, my bestseller 2 years ago, the 30-day sugar elimination diet book, or you want the new book, Good, Better, Best. I'm gonna put my glasses on, and I'm gonna pick from the comments for those of you who are live. Edna was the first winner. Stop. Andrea Fitzgerald, still live and hoping for a book. You won. You are the second winner. Congratulations. Andrea, I'm going to just voice text. Congratulations, you are the second winner of my new book or the other book, whichever you like. Please email me at brenda@sugarfreemom.com for your mailing address. Hopefully you live in the U.S. Do you live in the U.S., Andrea? I hope so, but congratulations. Of course, if you don't live in the U.S., no problem. I'll still give you a book, but it'll have to be like an ebook version. So at least, you can start with the recipes. Did any of you start making any of the recipes from the bonus book? I would love to know. I have some amazing recipes in the bonus book. I have a strawberry high protein pudding. I have a delicious enchilada, like taco style enchilada, low carb recipe. I have, what else? Oh, I have a lot of recipes and now I can't remember any single one of them. I don't know. So, oh, you know what we have to do next? Well, before I finish this, we have to see. This is what takes a little bit of time. See, Shay says, excited to see your new recipes. Thank you. I'm excited to bring you them, and I'm excited for you to eat this food. Showing you that even if you don't have an hour, you can still make something delicious and protein forward. Why? Because as a nutrition coach, I always recommend to my clients focus on the protein, especially as we age. We need the protein. We need more protein than we think we need because that's going to help you maintain muscle. Muscles naturally decline as you age. And if you are not focused on getting in the majority of your protein in the day, like if you end up at 3 p.m. in the afternoon and you say, well, I had an egg this morning and I had a little can of tuna on my salad, and you're starving at 3 o'clock, or you're hungry after dinner, that is your body saying you haven't given me what my protein needs are. And it's going to continue to make you think you need to eat, and you will. And you might just end up eating all the wrong things because you're trying to fulfill that protein need. I did a lot of research for this new book, and that's what I found is that people who maintain their weight loss after losing weight, they are in a community of like-minded people. That's why I have my tribe membership. They're in a community of people that get them and are working on a common goal. And I do group coaching in there, and that's why I share my recipes that are protein forward. Also in this book, in this new book, you'll find 3 meal plans of 7 days. And the first meal plan is for minimal time. So so mostly the recipes will come from the good section. And basically, if you're looking to lose weight, you'll be able to do it with that first 7-day minimal time meal plan, because I focused on protein 6 days a week of moderate fat, which is my midlife macro method that I coached on in August. And I did 1 day where high fat with high fat. So it's a 7-day minimal time meal plan. And it is, like I said, protein forward. So protein focus. So each meal, the serving will have 25 to 30 grams of protein. And it is a calorie deficit with moderate fat. Because you see, like I did keto. How about you? I did keto from 2015 until 2024. And then when perimenopause hit, that stopped working, and I started gaining weight, not cheating, not doing anything different, just my classic keto approach, which was high fat. And I just was gaining and gaining and gaining, and I couldn't figure out why, because I wasn't cheating and I was still gluten-free and I was still keto. It was too much fat. So that's why I came out with the midlife macro method, but it all started from this book, because as I was writing this book in 2024, that's when perimenopause hit, and I gained 15 pounds, and I was doing nothing wrong. And I tried more intermittent fasting, and I tried more, bone broth fasting, and I just consistently tried to stop eating 2 p.m. earlier in the day. You can let him out, honey. It's fine. The dogs will bark. That is life, right? And so for me, it was very frustrating, especially being a nutrition coach, to see myself gaining weight. And it was like 6 months, and it just kept coming on. And I was like, well, I have to go back to tracking, and I got to see how much am I eating. And then I realized, do I really need to go? Like, I didn't want to do a protein sparing modified fast. I don't know if you guys have done that. It made me want to overeat the next day. I never felt satisfied. I was always hungry. So I really didn't like protein sparing modified fast. And then I thought to myself, do I really have to go that low in order to get this weight off? And I proved to myself I did not. And that's what the first 7-day and the other 7-day meal plan will show you. It's moderate fat. A lot of the recipes are not high fat. And that's what I did to lose my weight. I have a whole chapter. If you're a person who hit your goal weight and then has regained it, I have a whole chapter on what I did to lose that, and how you can have an action plan if you've regained weight. It's very frustrating. I've been there, and I didn't love that I had to track again, but I had to. I had to show myself like, well, I don't have to go super, super low fat like protein sparing modified fast. It's not low fat, it's just more moderate fat. And that's what you'll find in this book. So whether you need to maintain weight or you need to lose weight, I have a regain action plan and the meal plans. And if you're looking to maintain, and the meal plans are too like low in calorie for you, you just increase your portions or you add some delicious high protein snacks so you can feel satiated. All right, my friends, I am almost done. And we're gonna bake these for about 8 minutes in the oven, and then I'm gonna stir the ganache and we're gonna pour it over the cookie dough bars, and then we will take these out of the oven and I'll toss in a bowl with olive oil, and my daughter will try them. Hopefully she'll come on live. She's looking at me like, what? Come on live to try them? She's had them when I was testing them, so she knows they're good. But maybe she'll come on live. All right, I did it. They're all good. They're all here. All right. Let's put them in the oven for, it says in my book, 5 minutes, and then you flip them, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do 8 minutes and pull them out. All right. All right, 8 minutes. Now we have the ganache that has been sitting with the heavy cream over the cup of sugar-free monk fruit sweetened chocolate chips. Now I need a spoon. And I also need to clean my hands. All right, and then I have some delicious olive oil. And I need a bowl for the, okay, so you can see it definitely needs stirring. And it takes a little bit of time to do ganache, but once you get it, it'll be delicious and you can pour it. If you let it sit longer or you refrigerate it, you could pipe it and you can put it on my no-bake mini cheesecake. That's in one of the chapters. I can't remember which chapter it is. How many already received their book? I would love to know. Or maybe you've got notification that it shipped. I would greatly, if you bought it on Amazon and you try the recipes, I would greatly appreciate your review as soon as possible so bookstores know that it's, you know, they have those reviews wherever you got it, Barnes and Noble, Target, Walmart, wherever you got it. I would greatly appreciate your reviews. And this ganache, like I said, it's going to be pourable to put over the no-bake cookie dough bars, or you let it chill in the fridge and you can put it in a pastry bag and pipe it. It just depends on what application you like. All right, so Linda says, look at me, I can read far from a distance. Oh, I lost it. I lost it. Ordering ricotta today for this recipe. Oh, Christine, you're gonna love it. And my friend Tracy said, mine is shipping and will arrive tomorrow. Yay! And Stacy says, thank you for all you do. I pre-ordered your book and sent my order code. Oh, but I never got the email. Okay, so you got to send it to, for the bonus recipes, you got to send it to bonus@sugarfreemom.com. And if it doesn't work, send me an email, brenda@sugarfreemom.com, and I'll send it that way. Sometimes, you know, the automatic thing, it doesn't work. All right, so now it's still clumpy. So if you still see chocolate chips that haven't melted, you got to let it go. You got to let it go. And while we're waiting for that to melt a little bit more, we've got 5 minutes on the oven. So I want you to know, in the best section where I have the freezer friendly and batch cooking, I literally had my daughter time me, and I did recipes. I had one in the oven, I had one in the Instant Pot, I had one in the slow cooker, I had one in the air fryer, and I was able in an hour to do batch cook like 4 recipes. The freezer meals of the best section mean you just prep them, you don't cook them. You throw them in the freezer, and then when you're ready, you thaw them out, and then you could do air fryer, slow cooker, Instant Pot, or oven. But the batch cooking means you actually cook them when you have time. On a Sunday or something, or Saturday when you have time, you actually batch cook, and then you can eat one at night and then freeze the rest, and you just pull it out, or you make individual servings for lunch. It's really about being a doable, having access to fantastic recipes, being doable even when you don't have the hour. You could still do something from the better section that you can get a delicious protein forward meal on the table in no time. So that's what that chicken caprese one was that I shared on the Channel 10 Boston. All right, so I'm gonna chop some delicious. I'm gonna use my scissors for some delicious parsley and also some basil. I have a little arrow garden behind me, and the basil's super tiny. If you don't like basil or fresh parsley, you don't have to use it, but it's nice to have it on your fresh ricotta gnudi. So I'm just chopping it up. And of course, more Parmesan if you want. And every recipe has photos. I love to have photos in cookbooks, so I made sure to do that. And every single one has all the nutrition info per serving: calories, protein, fiber, fat, total carbs, and net carbs, all for you in there. Okie dokie. So now I'm going to grab some. This is my fresh basil, and they're tiny little leaves, baby. Oh, they smell so good. It's going to be delicious over the ricotta gnudi. And then I just tossed with a little bit of fresh extra virgin olive oil and a little bit more Parmesan. All right. Don't get the stems. Okay, we're going to leave that to the side. Okay, let's see if this is good now. Sometimes it just needs to sit a little longer. Okay, so it's pourable. So we're going to get out the no-bake cookie dough bars, and I'm going to pour this over the top, and then I would chill it because you want this to set before you cut it into individual pieces or share it or freeze them, so you have something in the fridge for yourself. And then we're going to come back with one more person who wins another book. Okay, it's perfect. It's nice and cold. Take the top off. There we go. And then you just pour it over. You just pour it over. You don't even have to, you don't even have to spread it. Beautiful. Yum, yum, yum. Which chocolate do you like? I am really loving the Chalk Zero brand with monk fruit. Super delicious. I know some people love Lily's. I love that one too. You can use either. And there you go. Now it's going to go back in the fridge to chill before we cut it so that that chocolate sets. All right. And I have more Parmesan, and I have more olive oil. All right, so let me do, we got 1 minute. Drop any questions that you have, and then I'm going to pick another winner. I'm going to grab a drink. Pick another winner. And what did I want you to tell? Oh, I wanted to tell you the macros so you can see. And all, like, if you want to cook it or freeze it, all those instructions are there. If you're baking them or sauteing them, you know, pan frying, it's all on page 246. Okay, so if you bake in the oven, you're not adding olive oil to it, so it's a little bit less fat. 197 calories. The serving is I don't remember, 8 gnudi. Yeah. 10 grams of fat, 14 grams of protein in this ricotta gnudi, 9 total carbs, 4 dietary fiber, and 5 net carbs. Again, if you're watching live, say live, and if you are watching this replay, say replay. And tomorrow at 12 noon, I'm going to give 3 copies away to whoever's watching replay. But so far, we've given 2 copies away. Edna was the first copy, and then it was Andrea Fitzgerald. And I hope, whoop, that's the oven. Okay, great. Let me go get them. All right. Here we go. I need a towel. A towel. Because it's hot. And you could use tongs. You could flip them if you feel like they're not browned enough for you. But if you can, well, there you go. Can you see this? No, probably not. I'm going to flip it so you can see. The bottom is browned nicely, so I'm just going to flip it. They're very, like I said, they're soft, but that's what you want. They're supposed to be pillowy. They're not supposed to be dense and heavy like typical ricotta. I mean, typical gnocchi, which is made with potato. This is a great alternative, and honestly, I am going to make it for Christmas and see if my Sicilian dad will eat it and like it. Dad, if you're watching, I love you, but you are my worst critic. And so I need to prove that this will be delicious, even if it doesn't have gluten, like he always asks. But Brenda, you don't like gluten. And I said, no, it's not that. It's like I turned 40 and I used to be able to eat it, and then it just made me sick. So in 2012, I had to go gluten-free for my stomach. And as the years have gone and I've gotten older, gluten does affect me very badly. I'm very allergic to it. So I make everything still delicious without gluten, and I feel just as good. And so yeah, I'm gonna make this ricotta gnudi and for Christmas, because they come over for Christmas dinner. Of course, we'll have other things, but I got to see if he likes it, right? I'm always trying with my dad. I'm always trying to see if he'll like my food, and mostly he does. Whenever I was making recipes that were like Italian from my Naturally Keto book, I made pizzelle and tiramisu and biscotti. He tells me the truth, and I appreciate that, as does my daughter, as do my son and my sons and my husband. They always tell me, and I appreciate the honesty. I just want to know what you think, because I strive to make it taste good. Now, this is the thing. If you're a person that doesn't eat this way, you're not used to it, right? So it takes a little bit of time to get used to. It will never taste like a white flour pasta, but it's good. I mean, it's good for a gluten-free, style recipe. And this is how you make it sustainable, and you never feel left out. This is how you do it. All right, so I almost got them all flipped over. I could put them back in, but I want to show you. If you want them browned on the other side, simply put them back in the oven for 5 minutes, or you could just simply put them in a bowl, which is what I'm going to do now. We're going to have a little ricotta gnudi. 8 is the serving, and we'll see if we can get my daughter on camera. I don't know if she will, but I'll eat it. I'll eat it if she doesn't want to. You can have some later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, 7, 8. 14 grams of protein, and some delicious fresh basil and parsley. A toss of a little bit. Of course, you'd have to count this. I didn't count it, but a little drizzle, maybe a teaspoon or 2. And of course, a little bit more. And then I'm going to do the last giveaway. Little Parmesan. Yum. It's probably hot. It's probably hot.
Is it hot?
It's probably hot.
If it's hot, I can't eat it.
She can't eat it if it's hot, but I'll eat it.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, it's like a little pillow. It's like a little pillow. Like a little pillow of heaven. So good. It's so good. My dad's gonna love it. There's no way you can't like this. Eggs, Parmesan, ricotta. It's so good. I'm gonna eat one more. And then we're gonna do another giveaway. Oh. Yummy. Okay. I'll put them back in so that they warm on the other side, honey. So you can try. I want them browned on the other side. So I'm going to put them back in for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Okay. All right, a little drink, and then we're going to give away another book. Okie dokie. Glasses on. Woohoo! All right. All right. I'm just scrolling through the comments and go back and forth. Okay. Linda Archambault. Linda Taylor Archambault. You are the winner. She said, I was told I needed more protein, and this looks like a delicious way to do that. You are correct. I'm going to reply right now. You are the third live winner of my new book, Good, Better, Best. If you want the other one, you could pick either one because you're on this live, so you guys can decide Good, Better, Best or the 30-Day Sugar Elimination Diet book. You must send me an email, brenda@sugarfreemom.com, to give me your mailing address so I can send this book out to you this week, a signed copy. All right, congratulations. All right, my friends, now let's go see in the fridge if the chocolate is set, and then we can cut a delicious no-bake cookie dough bar. Yeah, no, not set yet. Totally not chilled. It's probably got to set for 30 minutes, but I don't care. I'm going to take a little bite. I'm going to grab a spoon, and I'm going to have a little bite of the corner because it's still juicy. It's soupy because it's got to have time to set, my friends, but I'm eating it. I need a napkin so I don't get it on my nice shirt. They're so good. And there you go. What was that? Less than an hour. I did pretty good because the live didn't work, so it was a little late. I hope you love these recipes. I hope that you find that you can totally make time for healthy recipes, whether it's an hour, 30 minutes, or just 15 minutes. You can totally do this. It's sustainable, it's delicious, gluten-free, low carb, and meal planning. Freezer recipes, batch cooking. You can do it with this book. Get your hands on it. Congratulations to the 3 live winners. Tomorrow, I'm going to go through all the replay winner people. So make sure if you're watching this as a replay that you write replay, and I'm going to pick 3 more people tomorrow at noon to win a copy of the book. Thank you for watching. Thank you for making my book a great success. I hope you absolutely love it, and I really, really do appreciate if you could share your reviews on Amazon. It would help so much. Thank you, my friends, and have a great rest of your day. Bye now.